A 54-year-old suspect has been arrested in connection with the fatal shooting of a Walter Sisulu University student. Several other students were injured during the unrest at the institution. The suspect has been charged with murder and attempted murder and is expected to appear in court on the 22nd of April. And we now have the institution's Convocation president, Dr. Lunga Mantashe, who joins us now for this conversation. Good evening to you and thank you so much for your time. Now we are hearing, of course, from the police that there is now a 54-year-old man that has been arrested in connection with this particular death of the student, and he'll be appearing in court. What, firstly, is your reaction to the latest development?
Well, we think that is a very important development. The student died on campus in the hands of our alma mater. The culprits must be held accountable. Justice must be administered swiftly, powerfully, and mercilessly. To send a message that it's unacceptable to murder a student in a university set up, a place of learning and a place of progress, theoretically. So we think that it's a very important development, and we hope that the justice system is able to move with speed. We know that there are usually problems when the justice system administers itself. And so we hope that this does not happen in this case. It has to happen very, very speedily. But beyond that, we think that the university itself has to take accountability for what happened, because we think it's a good thing to do, to be honest about what has happened, how it has happened, and why it has happened. And that's why we support the position of the University Council that has appointed an independent inquiry to look into this matter very, very quickly. What we are calling for is that this process must be as speedily as possible, because every day this is not resolved creates an impression, or may create an impression, that the university is not acting quickly, and or that even the justice system is not acting quickly. Let's remember, we had a shooting by a security company at the university campus, where a student was shot in the head. This is unacceptable. And it's unacceptable.
When you talk about, of course, the justice that needs to be, in fact, the process of justice that needs to be fast-tracked, but when one looks at the fact that we are speaking about the arrest on a Thursday, and there have been concerns that it's taken at least some time to get to this particular point, and they were saying, why not address the person then, and why not do what you need to do immediately? So, for you as the president of the Convocation, are you concerned that if then it took this long to get to this point, maybe, possibly, the investigations may not be done as they should?
Exactly. I mean, that's exactly the point, isn't it? The matter had to be resolved as quickly as possible. I mean, if we remember the facts, on that day we were told that the suspect was accompanied by the police. And then how did the police lose the gentleman? And then we were told that they were looking for him, and yet they were the ones who were escorting him. So it's a problem. And so we are very worried that this process has taken this long. I mean, this incident happened 2 days ago, and only now we are told of the arrest. It tells you exactly the problem that we are concerned with, that this matter may not move as quickly as it needs to be. But that does not stop the university, our university, the one that we love and the one that we studied at. It doesn't stop our university from moving even swifter than the justice system on the other hand. And that's why we're very happy that the council has announced that there needs to be a quick suspension of the suspect. And so we have to be seen to be doing something genuinely authentic in resolving this issue, and in showing that the university is not a place for potential thuggery, and it's not a place for potential killers, and it's not a place for this kind of violence meted, on students.
One would say then, how are you processing the fact that right now, we were in conversation with the registrar and he says that council took a decision to close the university and then students must go back home. But it's been a problem over time that when you see institutions close, especially if there's a protest or anything, students will say, why are you closing mid-month or so quickly? We may not even have money to go back home. So that means that now we have to deal with this, but at the same time, some of our grievances now begin to take a back seat, which is something that the SRC has been saying as well. So what do you then say about the fact that right now there may be some of those who still need to make plans to be able to get home?
So first of all, our understanding is that the issues that the students have raised are very legitimate. And our understanding is that from the council meeting yesterday, the council took a decision that we should concede to those issues that are legitimate and can be resolved as quickly as possible. But what we don't want to see is when students come back and we are told that the issues have not been resolved. I mean, if you've listened to the SRC, this was their complaint, that the problems are not resolved speedily. And this is an area where we think that council needs to play a critical role in playing oversight. But also there has to be consequence management when managers fail to do their job. Because now we have an instance that probably should not have happened in the first place. And Lord knows if there was a lapse at the level of management or at the level of operational managers who were supposed to get certain things done very quickly, these things can be avoided. I mean, let alone the violence that took place, it could be avoided. But you can't avoid these things if you move very slowly. You can't avoid these things if you keep deferring the resolution of the problems. But also you can't avoid these issues if you are simply dishonest to students about what can be resolved and what could not be resolved within which time. So those are the things that we think are very important about the closure of the campus. I mean, we recognize the reality that there's violence on campus, and we don't accept that the securities are being used, by the way, violently to violate the rights of the human bodies. And this is very unfortunate because it shouldn't happen in our university that securities carry rubber bullets and live ammunition. I mean, I saw on social media, I saw Fidelity, kicking our doors, the property of our own university. We don't want students to kick property in our own university, but do we expect security to do that? It's unacceptable. I mean, and I don't know if the securities have been given any mandate or directive whatsoever to kick doors, to destroy our own property, to chase students right up to the residences. Yeah. Whatever the case, it shouldn't happen. The relationship between the security and the students has been quite a strange relationship. And this is precisely because students don't perceive securities as people they can rely on. I mean, why would you have an instance where at times they even want to chase security out? It's because the relationship itself is constrained. Yeah. It's very strained. And so we believe that the university, we don't want to tell the university how to run its affairs. If it believes that students should go home, then it should take that decision. But they cannot be chased home by violent security companies knocking at their doors and breaking property. It cannot happen. It's not acceptable. We don't accept that as Convocation.
And as you say, that independent probe hopefully provides all the answers that a lot of people, are needing right now, especially the family of Sisonke, for example, who just want to know what would have happened here. But thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it this evening. That was Dr. Lunga Mantashe, the WSU Convocation President. That's the Walter Sisulu University Convocation President there, as we continue then to monitor the developments around this particular story.